All right, last time I mentioned that I wanted to say something about my taste in games. So let me do that. Um, yeah, let me just start with how the topic came up in the first place, which was that recently I've been playing classic Doom. It's kind of nice. I like it quite a bit. Um, but it made me reflect a bit more about what I really like about games. And okay, so. I used to think that what I like about games is how they generally feel like kinesthetics or whatever, like how movement feels, how attacking feels, that kind of stuff. And it is still true, but I noticed that with games, um, it's actually kind of convenient. Because okay, so I played fucking Doom, and the shooting and running around, and so that was fun. But I had no fucking idea where the fuck I was going. It was really fucking obnoxious. So I stopped playing for a while and thought about it some more. I started playing again because I changed my mindset a little bit because it's like a game. I think it's probably not that long anyways if you play through the entire game. So I took more of the mindset of just trying to memorize where the fuck to go so I don't have to worry about that anymore on further playthroughs. Um, which kind of brings me to the point. Like I always hated certain things in video games, like stories and exploration and immersion and all that kind of stuff. Like I just don't care at all. Um, at best, they mean like basically nothing to me. Um, and at worst, it's just like really obnoxious, like unskippable cutscenes and stuff like that. Really annoying. Don't want to have to deal with that. And like the way I thought about games before, and was like, okay, I just need to like try to find games that like have movement that feels good, and then I can find stuff I like. But after having played Doom and getting really fucking annoyed with the exploration and so on, I'm starting to think that it's maybe more a case of just like finding games that aren't fucking obnoxious. Like, even if the movement doesn't feel great, um, basically what I'm trying to say is that my mind is like focused on like gameplay and mechanics and so on. And so even if those aren't great, if the game focuses more on those, then it's probably a lot easier to like get into it and get myself to get used to them, get better at them, to like them more. And then trying to do the same with a game that maybe feels a bit better but is more story focused or something like that, which is again just annoying to me. Um, so yeah, uh, that is that is basically that. I feel like I wanted to like say a million other things, but this is the gist of it. So I'm debating right now if I should just keep on rambling and trying to find the other points I wanted to make, or if I should just stop the recording for a few minutes and think about it. I think I'll just stop the recording. Hold on. Okay, I think I actually mostly made my point beyond some small things like okay, what I generally like and dislike. Like I said, story focused stuff, immersion and so on. Like in general, I don't really care for video game stories. Um, I think it's because they're games. Like for lots of people, it's like, oh, it's a game. I'm part of it, so it's easier to like give a shit about it. But I'm like, it's a game. I'm part of it. Why would I give a shit now? Because like if I'm like reading a book or watching a show, then it's like, yeah, those characters are like doing their things, living their lives, having things that they care about or whatever. Meanwhile, if I'm playing the game, I'm just kind of like running circuits around the NPCs while I'm waiting for them to shut the fuck up. It's like um, being part of the story or whatever doesn't make me more immersed. It's just like, yeah, I'm just a guy playing a game and I don't give a shit about what's happening there. I just want to play. So just if anything takes me out of it. Um, yeah, so that's that. And beyond that, it's just like in general, I don't like, for example, puzzle games and stuff like that. I don't really like anything where I have to use like more than half a brain cell at a time. Um, I just I just kind of want to run in and run around and do shit and so on. And preferably have the game be like difficult, because I don't like when games have like this is the thing that a lot of people praise that they want games to have like low skill floors and high skill ceilings so that a lot of people can get into it and so on. Like, oh yeah, there's no difficulty barrier. You just like play the game and then it's yeah. I'm not a fan of that because I'm a lazy fuck and like one of the main reasons I play games is so that I like have something to do and I'm actually like forced to do something. Because it's a lot easier to just boot up a game and then okay, have to like follow the game objectives or whatever, like kill that guy, this and that, and be kind of like if you're focused on the game, then you're forced to do things as opposed to just kind of sitting around in the real world being confused what to do. Um, yeah, and so if a game is easy, then it's just easy. And it's just kind of annoying. And even if there's like in theory like a very high skill ceiling or whatever, and then it's like, yeah, but I don't have to do that. I can just beat the game on the phone. Like I'll just be lazy and then and just annoying. And it's like even more than that, if I then like push myself and force myself to make it harder on purpose, then it's just frustrating. One time I played like Super Mario on 3DS or whatever, 3D Land. Yeah, I played that one. It's like obviously it's a fucking Mario game. It's easy as fuck. So no problem. You just run through and then that's that. And so I didn't really like it. So what I started doing was like pick up I think every single coin in the entire level each time. I made it like halfway through the game and then I just gave up because it was really fucking frustrating because I kept running out of time and dying. So I had to like manage to like run around properly, take as little few details as possible, and just generally not fuck up. And so that was just really annoying. And in that game, it's even more annoying because if you like die enough times, they give you the fucking Tanuki suit, that like the one that makes you basically immortal. And just like, oh, is this too hard? Here, take. Shut the fuck up, dude. I'm trying to challenge myself here. Stop. Um, so yeah, I prefer if games aren't like that. If they're like um, if I don't have to go out of my way to make the game harder, if it's already at a base level, I'm gonna get my ass kicked. Um, yeah, and to the point that difficulty is like not enough to make me like a game necessarily, but it's enough to for me to like at least give it more of a shot. Like for example, I don't really like Cuphead. The combat in general, this whole bullet hell stuff. I mean, it's not quite Toho or something like that. Uh, but still, it's not really my thing. Um, And beyond that, I also don't really like games where you like take a hit and then that's oh you're fucked because you can like get hit like 3 times and you're dead. Uh, I prefer to have like more health or healing systems or something like that, so I don't have to pay that much attention. I would rather like have a longer battle where I have to like manage that instead of like a short battle where I die really quickly. Generally speaking, I don't know. Because then I'm thinking, okay, but now I'm playing Hollow Knight and well, it's like if I already have played the game for hundreds of hours and I'm like better at it. Like for example, in Hollow Knight, the only thing I've been doing for the last 2 years or something is just refighting one of the final bosses over and over, like pure vessel, just again and again, with like no attack upgrades or anything. And then in a version of the fight where you like die in one hit. And like again, generally I don't like that if you die that quickly. If it's really about like playing more perfectly or whatever. That's just kind of annoying. But at the same time, in this case, it's like, yeah, but otherwise, it's not hard enough anymore. And I'm not that good at the game. Like, I keep dying over and over there. Um, just get completely destroyed. Um, anyways, uh, but yeah, Cuphead, I did still play it, and I did still like if you fight the bosses. And like do certain things like not get hit at all, parry a certain number of times you get like S rank or whatever. And not, again, normally I'm not a fan of that, but I just kind of forced myself and it was still neat. Honestly, the main reason I kept playing was just because there was like a dash power up that kind of made the dash like in Hollow Knight where you can just phase through the enemy. I was like, oh hey, that's like Hollow Knight. Let me play that. So that's why I kept playing Cuphead. And I played the game for like 20 hours or something. Got I think halfway through or something. Like beat a boss and then kept fighting it over and over till I got S rank. That was kind of neat. I didn't like it that much, but again, the point is just that yeah, I like the difficulty in games. Um, yeah, and like recently with the Doom thing that I mentioned that I that me liking a game is more about okay, can I just focus on the mechanical aspects and so on and just get good at that and get used to that and maybe because like that's another thing. The difference between like games and other mediums, to me at least, is like if I'm like reading a book or watching an anime or something, like if I don't like it and I can't really change that. Like I don't know. Like some people talk about, oh, like you can just like force yourself to like things or like give things the benefit of the doubt and look at the positives and stuff. And I don't really get that. Like how do you guys do that? It seems like a very useful skill to have, but it also seems like you're just kind of insane and deluding yourself. I don't know if I'm missing something. I would like to be able to do that. I like to enjoy things. But yeah, I don't really know how to do that with other mediums. But with games, it's like the game actually changes, even if the game itself stays the same, just because you change. Like, obviously, that's the case with all media. I feel like read a book and then you read it again 10 years later, you might feel completely different about it because you've changed. But in a game, it's like you get better at the fucking mechanics, and then ooh, then you can play the game differently and might be more fun. Um, yeah, like I said, I've played fucking Hollow Knight hundreds of hours and just fighting the same guy over and over because the boss fight is just so fucking fun. And it wouldn't be fun if I was like completely ass at it. So you play a game, you completely ass at it, and then you keep going and you get better, and then the game becomes more fun. That's how I generally feel. So with that in mind, I start to realize, okay, if like um, if the problem isn't that the game has to already feel good, and it's more about me getting used to the mechanics and so on, getting better at it, then in theory it means that I actually have a much clearer path to finding games I like instead of like just being kind of confused or just trying everything or whatever, or just specifically, ooh, the movement feels good, so I'm gonna play this, or ooh, I moved like half a second and I hated it, so I was gonna stop playing. If instead I focus on like something else to narrow it down, which is like, ooh, does this game have a story focus? Yeah, no thanks. And so on, and like focusing on the stuff I don't like and filtering it out instead of like trying to immediately like the game. Like I don't like the game immediately, I drop it. That's how I used to do it. But now I'm more thinking of like, okay, since again with games it changes if you get better, I might as well just skip on the games that are like story focused or more puzzle focused and stuff like that I don't like, and then instead more focused on like combat or jumping around or whatever the fuck, more stuff that I do like, and then just try to get good at it. Like I've been playing a bunch of different games recently. For example, the original Super Mario Bros., which I didn't expect I would like. I haven't played much of it yet. Started 2 days ago or something. But it was actually fun and actually nice. And it's like, ooh, you could just run and jump through stuff. Ooh, I don't know what I'm saying. Um, but yeah, this is actually pretty nice. And again, this is with this mindset of like, yeah, I'm actually gonna like try to get good at it. So if I just die over and over, it doesn't matter. Like, it's not even about beating the game. It's about getting more comfortable with it because like if I actually like master a game and it's really enjoying, then I can like get much more out of it. Like I don't just play through a game and then I'm like, okay, was this really worth my time, worth the effort and so on. If I didn't like the game that much, instead it's like, oh, I can play this game for like, oh, dozens, hundreds of hours if I get really good at it and really enjoy it. Ooh, now it feels worthwhile. Kind of how I generally prefer to like read longer books or watch longer series and so on. Like for a lot of people, length is like actually a downside when it comes to trying new stuff. But for me, it's like the opposite because I have such a hard time finding anything that I like in the first place. It feels like such a huge commitment to like, for example, watch like a 12 episode anime versus like one that has like 200 episodes. If it has like 200 episodes, and it's like, ooh, I try this one episode, and if I like it, ooh, I can watch 200 episodes. That's so nice. Whereas I have to also try one episode if oh, just 12 episodes. It's like, oh, 2 days, it's over. Oops. you know? So yeah, that is quite nice with games. Um, and I actually think what I've because what I've been doing is just play a bunch of stuff at the same time uh, instead of just focusing on one game. I don't know why, but it's neat. Um, the classic Doom, Super Mario Bros., the classic one. What else have I been playing? I've been playing Umihara Kawase, where you basically have like a grappling hook, and jump around. Like it's a fishing rod technically. It doesn't matter. um, but yeah, that one is also one that's like kind of frustrating because it's a grappling hook. It's like, ooh, how do I properly use it? How does momentum work? But then you get better at it. It's pretty fun. Um, I've been starting playing Monster Hunter World again. I don't know if I'm gonna stick with that. Because I just kind of want to play with the hammer, but I'm sick of the hammer. I don't want to have to try out all those fucking weapons. I've tried to switch axe. I don't like it all that much. I'm probably gonna try out the insect glaive next. Um, yeah. I mean, with Monster Hunter, it's also annoying because it's like it's again this problem of game difficulty because it's like if you just play the game normally and just I can upgrade something, I can make a new weapon, I can make new armor, then the game is just really fucking easy. Like I had that problem when I first played Monster Hunter. It was like I played the original one, just emulated that, walked around for a few minutes, was really confused and overwhelmed. Like, this feels like shit. Let me drop this. And then, like a few months later, I just picked up World and gave it a try, and actually like watched tutorials and stuff to like figure out, okay, how the fuck does this game even work? How does combat work and so on? Because this is obviously a game where you have to um, where you have to get much more familiar with like how the combat works, how the individual weapon that you picked works, all that kind of stuff. Um, you can't just easily like pick it up and just start playing. It's just confusing and overwhelming. Need to get used to that. So then I actually looked at tutorials and stuff, and I think I just picked up the hammer first thing and was like, oh, this is actually neat. Nice. Good luck. Like I don't know if I had like picked a different weapon if I would have stuck with the game, but it was like, ooh, the hammer, nice. Um, so that happened to work out, and I just they had like barely any grasp on how the hammer works. I still have barely any grasp on how the hammer works. But you just hit people in the face or hit monsters in the face, and then they fall over. That's fun. So I just did that. Um, yeah. Yeah. So basically, the problem is just um, that again, this game is really fucking easy. So I just was like, oh, well, at least like swinging the hammer around feels fun. So I'm gonna keep doing that. And I just kind of like took my time with the game. I played through it like really slowly, just refought monsters over and over. That was neat. I did have a good time, so that was good. But also, I would have approached the game very differently if I had known that like as soon as you like finish high rank and get to master rank, that's where the actual game starts. Where it like instantly gets like 10 times harder. Like before that, I didn't even have to try. I barely ever failed any of the quests. It was way too easy, which again was annoying, but it was like, oh, swinging around the hammer's fun, so I stuck with it. But then I get to like mastering and just get completely decimated by everything all the time. It's like, okay, I would have kind of liked if the game had been even that difficult from the very beginning and I could have gotten used to it. But no, I'm just pissed off. So then I played some more and then I stopped playing. There were other times where I'd like try to pick up the game again and play again, like I'm doing now, and I just don't really know how to go about it because it's like I feel like I have to really balance the game myself, which again I don't like. I don't want to have to think about it. I would prefer if the game was just difficult and then I don't worry about it. Because another thing is like if the game gives you all these options to make the game easier and you don't use them, then I just kind of feel like a fucking idiot. Like, okay, should I make the game easier? I mean, if I make the game too easy for myself, it's not gonna be fun. But then if I don't do it, it's just gonna be frustrating and it's so annoying. Like I could just play the game without upgrading any weapons, without wearing any armor. Just I get hit once and I'm fucking dead, and then it's too hard for my taste. It's too annoying, and then I just have to like constantly micromanage, and I'm not really sure what I should do. And again, it just feels like like I'm okay, even if I then manage to barely beat something and then I have somewhat okay armor and a somewhat okay weapon, but then I still feel like, well, maybe I should have upgraded more because like this was just a pain. But if I would have upgraded more, it also wouldn't have been fun. So that's just annoying. Like I prefer if games like don't have stuff like that at all. If it's just like no upgrade at all, you just have your default stuff, and that's the intended difficulty, as opposed to like I know many people like really praise Dark Souls for like not having difficulty options and then actually having difficulty options in the game itself. But I fucking hate that. Like I think Dark Souls is alright. I kind of enjoy it, but every time I play, it's just so frustrating. Should I level up? Should I not level up? Should I upgrade my weapons? I just keep getting destroyed over and over. Okay, I upgrade all my stuff. Oh, now I destroy the bosses with ease. It's really annoying. Like at that point, I would literally prefer if Dark Souls actually had the fucking easy mode, so that I could just pick normal mode and not worry about it. Because all this micromanaging is just really annoying, and yeah, it just makes the whole thing just kind of feel obnoxious in terms of like overcoming challenges and fighting stuff. Like it doesn't really feel like anything if I could either like just upgrade my stuff completely or not do it. It's like if I upgrade my stuff at all, then I feel like okay, this is almost cheating. Like I could have just done it without it. So I purposefully made the game easier for myself, so I didn't really overcome it, you know. Like other people can play the games however they want. Like I'm not fucking saying you can't do that. I'm just saying I don't like that. Um, but yeah, that's how I feel with that. And then if I do upgrade it, it's too easy and it's just like okay, what was even the point? So I constantly feel the need to fucking micromanage it, and it's just obnoxious. Um, I prefer it more in Sekiro where you don't have as many upgrades and stuff, but even there, it's like, God damn it. I don't want to have to fucking upgrade my attack and my health and so on. Yeah, I'm just gonna feel like a fucking weenie. Um, I with Sekiro, I like at this point I'm at least good enough that I can play through about half of the game without upgrading anything, without getting any extra healing items or anything like that. Um, like I think yeah, I played up to like the second owl fight in Sekiro way, whatever. Doesn't fucking matter. But up to that point, and then there's the second monk fight, the second owl fight, and then I just get destroyed and need to upgrade my stuff. Also the second fucking monkey fight and Orin of the Water. There we go. I said it. I said all the things. Let's move on. Yeah, games. Um, what else did I want to say? All right, I had to stop recording. I don't know if I finished whatever point I was making. And now it's been a week again because there was something else I wanted to talk about that doesn't directly tie in, but anyways, I wanted to do that and I'm not really sure how to phrase it, how to put it into words. It's also something where I have to do stuff, like not for this podcast, but I have to do stuff and I'm talking about that stuff and I don't know what I have to do. So it's kind of confusing and scary and uncomfortable. So I just kind of put this off. So I don't know. I'm just gonna do that, just record that. But no, no, because it's in the middle of the night. I'm just gonna, even though I don't know how to talk about it and what words to say, I'm just gonna do it tomorrow right away. So yeah, that's that. All right, so much for that. For the last few weeks, I've basically done nothing but just played games and tried not to think about shit. And just, I should probably record some more of the podcast. I kind of want to do that, but I'm just gonna do it now. So the thing that I didn't really want to, well, I want to talk about it, but I don't want to think about shit. That's exhausting. Okay. Um, I didn't probably didn't finish my point in the last section. I think I was talking about Monster Hunter or something, and still wanted to add something. I'm gonna listen back to that later, and if I left something out, I'm probably just gonna add it in afterwards. But now just let me talk. I'm just gonna talk about the thing that yeah, try to avoid kind of. Okay. So I uh, don't like to have to use my fucking brain. I think I mentioned that before with games that I don't like anything that uses more than two brain cells at a time. Um, yeah, but even just in general. Um, okay, I don't like. I don't know how to explain it or how much to say. Uh, how much is too much, too personal, whatever, too annoying. But basically, uh, in general, I just kind of try to blend everything out all the time and just kind of pretend that the world around me just doesn't exist. And I mean that in the sense that I just kind of like, I'm kind of in my own head all the time and don't really, uh, yeah, I don't know. It's exhausting to have to take in visual information, for example, like all kinds of information. Just like sometimes I don't know where to start this explanation, but like sometimes, for example, when I look at something up close and I'm holding it in my hands, then I just automatically kind of more so touch it with my hands and like feel it out more so than I'm looking at it to make out the shape. It's not that my eyesight is that bad, but it kind of I don't know. It's just kind of exhausting to take things in like that. It's easier, I don't know, to feel stuff. Um, that's exhausting. I don't know why that is. But I did notice recently, well, I did technically notice it a while ago, but thought about it some more recently that I'm just kind of like, okay, so I have autism, and one thing that a lot of autistic people do is just uh, taking in a lot of information, just getting overwhelmed and having meltdowns and stuff. And I don't really remember having problems with that, except I also remember when I was a lot younger in school, when I was like 8 or 9 or something, that I would often like freak out and get angry at everyone if they were too loud or something. I would start yelling and so on. I don't remember what it felt like, why I was bothered by them being too loud. I just remember that it was a thing. And I think what I did is just subconsciously train myself to like not freak out, but instead of like learning to deal with it, just kind of blend everything out. Kind of like what I'm also doing with my emotions, which is just to not feel much of anything most of the time. Because I guess I can't handle all of this stuff, and so I just subconsciously turn it all off. Not completely off, but just turn it down massively. Like, for example, what I've noticed um, when I'm, for example, like going outside, I'm looking at stuff because people always talk about, oh, like, look at nature, look at stuff in general. Stuff looks good. I don't like looking at stuff, but like, yeah, for lots of people, it's like, oh, stuff looks nice, and I don't care. Um, but I tried, and what I've noticed is like if I really try to like focus on like, for example, I'm on the outside, I'm like looking at all the trees and stuff, and just like really take it all in. I kind of get dizzy and overwhelmed, and almost kind of scared. It's like really overwhelming. Um, and so I'm wondering if that's like more so my default state. Like, is that how it used to be? I don't remember. When I was a kid, is that how everything looked? Like, it's not that I don't really know how to describe it. It's not like I'm seeing more detail or whatever. Even like if I'm looking at something at a distance, I can barely make it out. It's still, it feels different. It's not I'm noticing more details, it's more that I'm noticing more at once. It's like you look at an area, there's a bunch of stuff, and you naturally, obviously, blend most of it out. It's like you're playing a game or something, don't really notice what's going in the background. Like, that's normal stuff. Um, but I feel like if I purposefully like really open my eyes, really look at stuff, really try to take in that visual information. It's um, let's just say for simplicity, there are like 10 objects, and I'm looking at this. Obviously, you can only really focus at one object at a time. You'll probably like really look at one thing, and then maybe there are one or two other things that you kind of notice. And if I like do this, that I like really try to take it all in, then it's more like I'm noticing like 6 or 7 things all at once. Like, I don't know if that really brings across the feeling. It's just like really weird. I'm just taking in more things at once, and I'm more actively noticing it, and I'm more quickly bouncing from one thing to the next. Like, oh, I'm noticing 5 things here, and then I'm noticing the other 5 things over there. Like one thing the whole time because I'm looking at it, and I don't know. It's just, yeah, I'm just taking in more visual information. It's overwhelming. That's basically what I'm saying. And the reason I'm talking about this is because I'm like wondering, because like I said, it's the same with my emotions, that I don't really notice them all that well, don't really feel all that much, and so on. And I'm just wondering if over time I maybe just like get too overwhelmed with everything and just started to subconsciously train myself to not take stuff in. And now I'm just like overwhelmed with everything, can't really take anything in. And I mean, the reason I'm bothered with all of this, and I'm like I've been thinking about this recently and so on, is just because I thought, oh, maybe that's like somehow related to why I can't like get into like new TV shows and stuff. Like, oh, I want to watch anime. I want to enjoy things again. Ooh, maybe I can find a 10 out of 10 if I like, ooh, maybe it's just like, maybe there's just something wrong with my mind, and if I can fix this. Like, it's not even, oh, there's like something wrong with me. I'm feeling bad. I wanna get better so that I can enjoy my life. Yeah, yeah, I mean, sure, in general, but I wanna fucking wanna watch anime. I wanna enjoy fucking media. That's what I'm always then getting obsessed with. Um, that motivates me. That's the only thing that motivates me, pretty much. Yeah, and like that's the thing that like in general, I'm always doing this. That I'm like trying not to think about stuff too much, to blend stuff out, to not really focus on anything. I want to just play games so that I can like turn my brain off. Not everything's overwhelming and annoying. I don't want to deal with that. And this as well, like recently I've been thinking about this and thinking about, oh, how could I solve this? And then no, the thinking about this is too overwhelming. And now I've started even more to just like try to not think about it and not even recording this podcast and just playing games and stuff because I don't want to think about it, but I should think about it. I don't really know what to do. Like, my first instinct was just, yeah, I'm gonna be too lazy and too overwhelmed to do anything about it. But I can play games. Can I like combine this somehow? Can I like when I first thought like self-improvement as a concept was fucking stupid, and then I like heard people in podcasts constantly talk about fucking self-improvement and so on. And then also like so people depression, Dark Souls, that helped them like to get used to doing stuff again. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna play Dark Souls at some point. Like first I thought this was so stupid. Then I thought, okay, I'm gonna play Dark Souls, and that helped. Like it's not as extreme for me. Like, oh, I played Dark Souls. This like it changed my life or whatever. But it's like got me more into this mindset of like playing games and putting an effort into that and trying to get better and so on. Um, yeah, and doing stuff, and that helped to do stuff. Anyways, um, and so I thought that maybe with this as well, like if I like play games where I like have to pay attention, because that's the thing. If I have to pay attention in a game, I don't want to play that game. I don't like that. But I thought that maybe it would be easier to force myself to do something like that rather than I don't even know how to approach this because I don't even know what's going on exactly. Again, it's just like I'm in general like in my head blending everything out and so on, not really experiencing the world around me all that much and wondering if a lot of my problems are maybe because of that. Like I can't really get interested in new things because I'm not really experiencing them properly because I'm not really opening myself up properly. So yeah, maybe that's also part of why I can't enjoy conversations and this and that and so on. So I thought maybe that would help. Um, but I didn't want to do it and I didn't want to think about it and I didn't want to talk about it and that's probably why I didn't keep recording this fucking podcast. I thought that talking about this would take some more time. I don't know if I explained everything well or well enough to be understandable. I don't know if there's more that I wanted to say to put into words. But right now, I just kind of feels like, yeah, I guess that's all. I guess I'll just listen back to everything I've recorded and then maybe add something and then probably upload this. I don't know.